interesting to see what way the cars and the track conditions come into play. To chase. As we see the light goes green, and here we go for the first battle in our top 32. It's Turbo in the yellow BMW, it's Mickey Moo in the green 180SX as Turbo throws it in. Lovely initiation, absolutely smoking Mickey Moo out of it. Unfortunately, Mickey Moo not having the pace for Benedictus Turbo. That Eurofighter is just on a different level, and today he seems to be getting faster and faster as we see him nailing the perfect qualifying line. Look at this for Turbo. Very unfortunate for Mickey Moo now. He's just getting lost a small bit, dropping back in the smoke there. The absolute tire smoke coming off that Eurofighter is insane. But yeah, Mickey Moo just getting a small bit wrong as we see him now putting a few tyres off, just coming through that last section and getting blinded by the smoke as Turbo brings it over. So we have two cars on the line. It's the second half. It's Mick Kelly's lead. It is Benedictus Turbo to chase. Listen to the screams of that 180SX that comes down. Turbo just sitting back a little bit too cautiously, but he doesn't want to be too cautious. He needs to get right there and stick with Mick Kelly. Mick Kelly is on a lovely lead line now, as we see Turbo just playing there with the throttle, sticking with him. Mick Kelly cutting the track a small bit to gain proximity, which washes out wide. 2, maybe 3 wheels off there now, as we see Turbo now starting to reel in as they come through. Clip 6, Turbo right on the door of that 180SX as they transition for the last time. Mick Kelly on a very shallow line. He's going to have to pray for a miracle this last corner, as we see Mick Kelly now smoking Turbo out of it. But Benedictus Turbo, years guys out of the car, showing appreciation. They're pitting beside each other, but there you have it. Your winner is, and the traffic light goes green and away we go. Miguel the lead, Hussein the chase for the second battle in our top 32, as we see Dennis Miguel throwing it in there, but Hussein Islam is right there with him. You see Dennis now on a nice first zone, absolutely ticking the boxes perfectly. But look at this, Hussein just dropping back ever so slightly, cuts the track just a little bit but not too much, trying to get that proximity back. He knows that Dennis is fast, so he's going to have to do a lot to try and stay with him for the second half of this run, as we see them now coming through clip 6 as the transition for the second last time. Hussein making a huge dive there on the quarter panel of that BMW E46, but Dennis Miguel looking so comfortable in the lead position. You know, maybe dropping Dennis Miguel to chase. See both cars leave the line. Look at this, Hussein coming down, nice flick early, big brave initiation. Dennis Miguel unfortunately just getting it all wrong, end up on the inside of the track, dropping one wheel there now as they come through, aiming for clip 3. He is right, he's used a small bit of track to cut it, but he's got right there back on the door of Hussein. Hussein's on a lovely lead line, absolutely perfect, putting that back wheel right out wide. Oh, maybe just a small wheel drop there from Hussein. Dennis Miguel now is to do a good job of stomping on front brakes, trying to not get caught, boxed in basically by the lead car, as we see both guys come up for the last transition. Oh, how did it not make contact? Dennis Miguel doing a great job there, not hit the back of Hussein's E46 as they come around the corner for the last time. See what happens, but overall our winner is Dennis Miguel. So unfortunately that, but for now we've got this one right here. Two cars, two guys know each other very well, two identical cars to be fair, very 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 similar cars, as we see Nazir throwing it in, and look at Ian Phillips there, very brave initiation, but unfortunately for Biz he just had to back out to avoid contact. Now we see Nazir putting the foot down, starting to reel a bit of a gap. Biz now is doing anything he can to try and close that gap, but Nazir's 350Z is so fast, as we learned last week, taking it to second step on the podium. So we see them now come through, transition for the second last time. Biz still can't close that proximity, but doing a good job to stay on the qualifying line. He's not really sacrificing much track, but look at this from Nazir. He is doing a lovely job. It's like he's doing another. The light goes green and away we go. So we see Biz just tearing out that straight, trying to be as fast as he can, throwing it in big, but look at Nazir, nearly a mirror of what happened the last time, on just nearly making contact with Biz, as we see Biz on a lovely lead line now. Nazir doing whatever he can to try and stay with that black and orange 350Z of Ian Biz Phillips. Look at this line from Biz, this is absolutely beautiful, and oh, what a transition from Nazir, lucky not to make contact with the back of Biz's 350, as we see both cars coming through clip 6 now. The transition back out for 7, getting ready for the last transition out to the wall. Biz with a lovely wall ride from Ian Biz Phillips. Nazir is right there with him though, maybe just a little bit too late unfortunately for Ian Biz Phillips, as we see Biz getting out of the car. Big round of applause. One of the nicest guy here. But there you have it. You end up qualifying in 9th position, but the chasing he has done in battle practice this morning has just been amazing. We saw Arif in that lovely E30 there. Look at this from Alamri. Lovely initiations. Arif though is right with him, as he see now Alamri doing whatever he can to pull the gap. Arif just washing a bit too wide there at 3. He has to end up on the inside of the track where Alamri is on a lovely lead line all the way through 4. Nice and wide out to 5. This is exactly what he was doing this morning in practice. This is a beautiful lead line, as we see Zarif now just cutting the track ever so slightly, trying to gain the proximity. But we've Alamri doing whatever he can to try and keep maximum points from the judges. We see Zarif just dropping a wheel there as the transition into the last zone and the initiation point, but they get the green light and away they go. So look at this, Zarif coming in. Alamri is right there with him, throwing it in. Not that deep from both cars. Alamri has to kind of sit on the brakes a little bit more just to steady up that car and not make contact with Zarif. But Zarif is putting foot to the floor, maybe a little bit of a wobble, ended up very shallow there coming into zone 4, which will put him off for the rest of this track as he transitions back, not deep into 5. I feel Alamri's just doing whatever he can just to stay behind him and try and be as close as possible without getting himself into a tricky situation, as we see them transition for the last time out to the wall around the final corner. Look at this from Alamri. He's right there just proving a point. And there we have it. Your winner is Ahmed Alamri this weekend, back in his S15 shall I say this weekend, and he is looking so comfortable out there. Definitely one to watch. But can Nora do stick it right on the door as we see them coming in? Hyden with a lovely initiation. Nora now just slowly letting that car steadied up as we see Hyden putting foot to floor, starting to pull a massive gap. So we see Nora now coming on the power, but maybe it's too little too late, unfortunately. Just not getting in. Oh, Hyden looking like he nearly over rotated there. I'm not sure what happened. I'm just wondering now, is Nora's clutch issues coming back into play? That car seems to be struggling to keep that sideways. So we see Hyden now coming in transition for clip 7 for the last time. This is lining up the transition out to the wall. Lovely wall of my Hyden, as we see them coming through zone 8 and making it around the last corner and over the line. Light goes green and away we go for the second half of this battle. So Nora very slow going through the chicane. Hyden just kind of has to stall up to let her get out there, but we see them now throwing it in. Hyden just holding back ever so slightly. Nora on a wide line. We know the judges want them on a mid line there, so I wonder will that come into factor. But look at this as they come into zone 4. Hyden making a huge dive. Very brave that is, as we see Nora lovely right out on the back of that zone 4, doing a brilliant job. She is proving a point that she can still hang with the big boys. But look at this from Hyden. He is right there with them, stuck to the back of that E46 BMW, as we hear the bangs of both cars coming around the last corner and over the line. So we see both cars pulling up to the line. And your winner is Fu. Is a really good driver. He is so aggressive in the chase position. I know these guys were having some issues with the car, trying to get it sorted during the week, so let's hope this car plays ball as we see Rifat throwing it in. Absolutely beautiful, maybe a bit too wide, dropping one wheel there as he comes up to 2. Fu has to dial off angle now not to make contact, as we see a little bit of a gap formed by that, as we see Rifat now absolutely throwing it backwards into zone 4, pushing wide. But look at this from Fu Yishang, doing a great job not to make contact there in the chase position as they come around now, lining up for clip 6, getting ready for the second last transition on the track. Out to 7. Rifat doing a nice job on the second half. It is absolutely on the wall, opens up the boot, it takes the tail light off. That is what we came. Rifat has retired. He didn't make the clock, and it's so unfortunate. The nicest guy in Oman drifting. But yeah, Fu will get the win, and he is off for the second half of this run. He's going to use this lap just to get another research development lap, is what we could call it now, because the track conditions are consistently changing. So we see Fu there now with a massive handbrake drag, trying to get that car out to zone 4. So yeah, very unfortunate for Rifat that he was not able to make it to the 5-minute rule. But yeah, we will see Fu move on to our top 16, where he will face Hyden Al Haidiri. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. Fu Yishang is just going to use this just to get some more experience and figure out what's going on on them ever-changing track conditions. Oh man. Okay, traffic light goes green and away they go. Vasiliauskas is fast on this circuit, but that is not all about speed. As we see him throwing it in and Ria just dropping back. It just looks like a passenger in this. As we see Vasiliauskas now just storming away on a lovely line, maybe dropping one wheel there as he comes out to the wall for the first time. Does a good job not making contact to the wall as he transitions back now for zone 5. Not as deep as we'd like to see him in them zones, but he does have a big gap pulled on that Supra of Riyadh as we see them transitions for the last time out to the wall. Vasiliauskas is doing a great job in the lead position, so amazing, all the people in attendance waving as we see both cars on the line and away they go. So how will Ria get on with no power steering as he flicks it in? Not a bad job, look at that, using all the luck in that Supra, trying to hold on, but Vasiliauskas is right there with him. Riyadh's doing whatever he can to try and pull a gap, but Vasiliauskas knows he will have a huge advantage. Oh, and there's the power steering issues. He does a great job. Riyadh does not, hit the wall there. So it will be interesting to see what way the judges are going to look at that. And Riyadh just ended up in the wrong part of the track. Vasiliauskas is doing a great job not to make contact. Lovely wall run for Riyadh, but maybe just a little too late. As we see them come around the last corner. Yeah, I think it should be a no-brainer, and it is. The winner is Andreas Vasili. Okay, so here we go. Bagsy the lead, Jouard the chase. As we see Steve coming down, absolutely ripping that PS13, throwing it in. Big angle from Bagsy, but look at this from Abdullah Jouard. Throwing it in, trying to match pace, but he can't keep up with the pace of Bagsy. Bagsy is absolutely pulling a massive gap here now as we see them come up through zone 4. Jouard ended up a small bit on the inside of the track, but Bagsy on a lovely lead line out right wide, hugging his back wheel along that white line. As we see them now coming in to clip 6, Jouard cutting the track, doing whatever he can to try and get back on the door of Bagsy as they come in now to transition for the last time. Big wall run from Bagsy as he puts the back of that car right out, and Abdullah unfortunately spinning, not quite sure. But back to the track we go, and it is Abdullah Jouard to lead, and it is Bagsy to chase. As we see Abdullah coming down, Bagsy knowing he will have an advantage with Abdullah spinning that first run. As we see Abdullah throwing it in now, Steve is right there with him, doing whatever he can just to stick with that 180SX of Abdullah. Abdullah now dropping wheels just as he's up zone 4. Bagsy's doing a great job. He's not too close, but he's not too far away either. He's been a little bit cautious as we see them transition there now, nearly making contact. Bagsy's starting to reel him in as they come through now. Clip 6 getting ready for the second last transition on this track. Lovely transition from both guys as they come up now, lining up for the flick onto the wall. Bagsy putting the back of the car to the wall as Abdullah on a lovely lead line as they put foot to floor around the last corner, and your winner is Bagsy. It's just camaraderie of the drift paddock. I know he was going around looking for parts and a lot of people trying to help him because no one wants to see someone go to a competition like that. But look at this, the Ham throwing it in lovely in the lead position as we see Yazir unfortunately just watching a bit too wide as he has to bail over now to avoid making contact with that wall. The Ham though on a beautiful lead line as we hear all the pops and bangs from the Ham's car. It sounds absolutely amazing. Abdullah Jouard bails out. I'm not sure what happened there. He was out of sight of the camera. I think he was heading for the wall and bailed out at the last minute as we see Daham now bringing in for the last transition, getting it out to the wall. A nice run, nice lead line from Ahmed Daham. Yeah, just very unfortunate for Yazir. So, and Daham is going to face Nicholas Sullivan, so that's going to be another great battle. Our top 16 is shaping up to be a great one. So as we see Daham coming out to do one pass of the circuit here just to make himself get a little bit more comfortable with the ever-changing grip levels here in Oman. So we see, look at this from Daham. He's on a lovely lead line coming right through into zone 4, absolutely smoking them rear tyres off that S14 as he transitions back out nice for zone 5. This is a beautiful line from Ahmed Daham, looking so comfortable on this circuit. It's going to be very interesting to see what Daham and Nick Sullivan is later on. I'm really excited for that battle. They're two guys that know their driving style very well. They've battled many times before, and it's going to be interesting to see what way it goes down. Okay, so away we go. It is Solomon to lead. It is Lipsky to chase. As they come tearing down the straight. Look at this from Nicholas Solomon throwing in, but Timur Lipsky's right there with him as they come through the first corner. Whoa, how did he not make contact with the back of Nicholas Solomon? So we see Nick on an absolute lovely lead line, but Timur Lipsky is right there with him. Just stalls the car up ever so slightly to avoid contact, but does a great job. Now look at that transition through the smoke. It ends up a small bit on the inside of the track, but Nicholas Solomon is on a lovely lead line as they transition for the second last time into that touch and go clip 7 as they flick back now further wall. Lovely wall run from Nicholas Solomon, but Timur Lipsky is right there with him as they come through the final section and over the line. Cars back on the line. It's Timur Lipsky to lead, Nicholas Solomon to chase. As we see Nick just giving Timur a little bit too much room on initiation, and Nick washing very wide. Oh, unfortunate, just getting it all wrong in the chase position as Timur puts the foot to floor, doing a beautiful lead line as he comes in on a... Oh! What? What? Wow, okay. This is where the inner judge of me is going to have to come into play, so I'm not 100% sure how many wheels Nick Solomon put off in that first corner, but it definitely wasn't 4, and unfortunate for Timur Lipsky, he is still not going. He is still just sitting, and the winner is Nicholas Solomon. So yeah, night before qualifying on Thursday, and they just added a bottle of nitrous because why not? But here we go, it's Nick Nack versus Bullseye. Nick Nack throwing it in, and Bullseye just getting it all wrong, and he's in the wall. Wow, that's a big impact with the wall. Water barrier's gone everywhere there as we see Nick Nack coming around doing exactly what he's doing, but it's going to be very interesting just to see, to make sure Nick Nack, see there it is there, Bullseye put all them things out. Oh, that's a big impact. So yeah, here we go, we get the second half of this underway, and so we see Bullseye, credit to him, coming down the window on his door. That poor car, he's gone to the inside. I think he just does not want the same thing to happen again. Nick Nack is sticking right there with him, but Bullseye, yeah, just dropping wheels. Look, it's a credit to him after the impact he's after having with the wall to come out and just get that second run done. You know, many other guys would have just said, yeah, I'm done, and go home. But yeah, look, even you see his rear wheel there. I think the alignment's off on that car, everything. It's just, wow, he's really doing a good job pedaling this, but Nick Nack is just sticking right there with him. He knows he has an advantage, so it will be interesting to see Nick Nack, but absolute credit to Bullseye. Fair play to him. Sammer, I know, I seen him coming in earlier on with like a diff problem or something like that. So the guys, I know they were trying to fix it on the break before battle. So let's figure out how they got that BMW fixed. As we see Kremis now, not with the proximity that I was expecting from him. Samir doing a nice job in the lead position, but Kremis now just starting to reel him in. Maybe Samir a small bit shallow as they're coming into zone 4, working their way around and transitions back. Oh, how did Kremis not make contact with that E36? As we see both cars flicking around, transitioning for 7, lining up for the last transition on this track, out to the wall. Samir not deep, but Kremitz just a little bit too deep. Oh, both guys dropping wheels as they come over the line. Samir from Lebanon to chase. Both cars leave the line, and here we go. So we see Kremitz tearing down the straight, throwing in, but look at Samir, he is right there with him, absolutely glued to the side of that Toyota Alteza, as he does a great job not to make contact. Has to bail out a small bit to avoid making contact, but now we see Kremitz doing whatever he can, working his way back. Oh, and Samir just getting lost a small bit in the smoke, dropping a wheel now, and does a great job not to make contact with the lead car as they transition further last time. And Kremitz not that deep, he's shallow as zone 8 as we see Samir just doing anything. It's a tough decision and they can't make it. It's a one more time, so we will see both. We will see Ali Maxid versus Nazir Munteri. Oh no, I'm not sure where Munteri is, but I know Ali Maxid is getting a boy run, so obviously Ali is just obviously getting the buy run. I'm not sure. I'm going to just go try and figure out real quick what happened in Nazir there. That is not what we're expecting. Paddock, and his car was in on the lift, clutch out and done and fixed within an hour. So I'm absolutely delighted to see him make it back out. But here is Clint coming down, stuck right on the back of Ali Boucher. So we see Ali now doing a lovely lead line, but look at Clint Van Hout. He's doing a great job here not to make contact as they come through clip 3. Oh, a bit of a straight in there and a wobble for Ali. Clint has to just sit on the handbrake just to avoid making contact as Ali throws it on massive angle at the end of zone 4. Flick back to 5, but look at Clint. He is right there with him. Ali now a little bit shallow, missing clip 6, maybe still having some sort of clutch issues in that car, but Clint is right there as they transition for the last time and out to the wall. Clint now closing the gap, sticking it right on the side of that 180 SX and over the line. That's a good one. Swapped him around. It is Clint to lead. It is Ali to chase. And here we go. Clint screaming down. But look at Ali tucking right in there behind Clint. So you see Clint throwing in lovely initiation from Clint Van Hout. As we see Ali now not with the proximity that we'd like to see, but Clint is on an absolute beautiful lead line as we see him coming up now into zone 4. Ali just cutting the track ever so slightly, dialing massive angle on, trying to gain some proximity back, which he does as we see Clint now transition lovely and wide for 5. This is a beautiful lead line from Clint as we see Ali now reeling him in, coming through that bottom section as they transition back into the touch and go at 7. Lined up for the last transition. Clint putting the back in at 14. Out to the wall. Ali doing whatever he can to try and get on the door of Clint Van Hout. That is an absolute. So Clint will move on to the next round, and unfortunately, Eggars will move on. So he will do a pass of the circuit here just to try and feel out the track as we see him in his Eurofighter throwing it in. Big angle. This is a man who definitely has impressed me a lot this weekend. Absolutely killing it. I see him maybe going a little bit too fast there, end up too shallow. It's fine, no one's judging this one anyways because he's already got the win. Lovely transition from Eggars as we see him. Lovely and deep. That very fast run from Farouk Al-Shahani. But we swapped him around for the second half of this battle. It's Wokas to lead, it's Tarek to chase. Oh, Wokas thrown in very wide there, just unfortunately getting it all wrong. Tarek doing a good job not to make contact. Now he's put that 180 SX right on the side of his door. Look at the, oh, Wokas just getting it all wrong coming into zone 4. Tarek doing whatever he can not to make contact with him, doing a great job to avoid contact in fact. But as we see Wokas now just struggling with this layout here, snapping huge angle, missing clip 7 as they transition back. Wokas very shallow, Tarek doing anything he can as they come over. Our winner is Tarek Al-Shahani. Okay, the traffic light goes green and away they go. It is Samir to lead and it is Kremitz to chase. As we see Samir throwing it in. Kremitz not as close as we'd like to see him, but he's not too far away either now, putting foot to floor, starting to reel him in as they come through clip 2, working away into 3. Oh, Samir just a small bit. Oh! Safe. Not sure what happened, if that BMW just gripped up or what it was, but we were lucky to avoid contact there. We see Kremitz just bringing that Toyota Tesla lovely and wide. Look at that for a lovely line. And yeah, just unfortunately. Okay, so I am just been informed that unfortunately Samir is just retired. So not going to get that car fixed, so we will see Kremitz just do a pass to the track, and that will mean Kremitz will be our last driver to make it into the top 16 bracket. And what a top 16 is shaped up to be. This is only going to get better from here. All drivers have a battle under their belt and they're going to get more and more comfortable in them cars, so we're going to get ready after this run for our top 16 parade. And trust me, a top 16 parade, you know, man, it's a spectacle. I hope you like anti-lag, that's all I'll say. So yeah, a lot of good battles lined up for this second go of battles within our top 16, and I am really, really excited to see Kremitz doing a ridiculous backwards entry there. A bit of freestyle as is known out here, but yeah, Kremitz will get the win.